here we are. It's, Unstable premiered on Netflix March 30th. And I was, man, I remember the night. I stayed up the night because they do a thing called, I think it's called a review embargo, where they just like hold all the reviews until it releases. So I was like, I'm staying up till midnight to read these things, stupidly thinking that they all just drop at midnight. It's like some kind of like online thing. It didn't work like that. They kind of scattered, came out. But the first review that came out, I remember reading it. I think it was the like Wall Street Journal one, which was a very good review. And I remember that was one of those moments that I wish I could like bottle. It was so surreal. And because I thought I was going to get wrecked is the truth. I think it's easier to judge someone when you're like, I don't know how they got to that position. And so I'm a little iffy on them. And I'm okay with that. That's like, I'm fine having to, prove people wrong in that sense. And naturally though, I was like, okay, I'm ripe for the picking here. Like if I didn't do a good job on this, they're going to tell me. And so I was so elated to get that kind of response from the show.
Dude, hell yeah. It's all your hard work over years, like culminating in this one moment. I mean, that's awesome. I mean, I think like when I was first watching it, I really appreciate your like baseline stability, right? Because it's like your pops is like the unstable one, unstable. He's like an Elon Musk type, right?
Yes, yes, that's exactly right. I can describe it. Short,
yeah, you'll do a great
briefly, but it's just essentially like a play on, my dad and I's relationship, a father and son with a dad who's in the spotlight and a son who doesn't really enjoy that. And Rob plays an Elon Musk-esque, eccentric, unstable, successful billionaire who's like losing his tether to reality. And the only person that can kind of retether him is his son, who wants nothing to do with him.
And I think you do a great job of like being that stable character. Cause like you don't, at least like in the first 3 episodes, I think it's having that like very good baseline of stability. Yeah. Like you don't go too high or too low at any one moment. And like, that was really impressive, dude. Like it's the anchor of the show to like, right. To kind of keep that everyone in the office has like their different dramas and their different thing. And like,
that's exactly right. It's funny because it's a model that's been done a million times. It's just only been done successfully, handful of times. But you look at like, I don't know, and I'm not comparing myself to these people. I'll preface it by saying that. But you look at like Jim in The Office or Krasinski's character in The Office, or like Bateman in Arrested Development. Like there's an art to being what is both the POV of the audience essentially and like the straight man, but also not just being forgettable. Yep. And I use Bateman as the example always when I talk about this, where I think he masters it.
Oh, yeah.
Masters it.
One of the best.
One of the best shows, dude.
Yeah, he really is.
Love that show. And if you watch that show in a way where you're kind of studying it character performance wise and just like, what space everyone is occupying, like Jason has no right being as funny and as interesting as he is on that show. It's incredible. It's like, I think like a seminal comedy television performance.
Totally. Even like, Amy Poehler, Parks and Rec, Tina Fey, 30 Rock. Oh, I mean, like you said, you can kind of go down the board with it.
And by the way, those are the shows we tonally modeled Unstable off of. Like our dream.
I could sense that a little bit.
Our dream. I love that. Our dream was for it of that sort of, and that it's funny. I talk about this a lot too. Like that Thursday night NBC comedy lineup was so unreal. When you went like Office, Parks and Rec, 30 Rock, that is incredible. But to me, my favorite of those 3 is 30 Rock, and the pace and the absurdity, but also like the connection and just some, sweet moments in that show. That was really when we were like, if we were to do a direct comp, I was like, I'd love for it to be like 30 Rock. I love that show.
That makes a ton of sense when you're talking pace, right? Like when we were watching it, like it is like,
fast.
It is fast.
Yes.
It doesn't really like seem fast because I don't know.
I think it's because of the way it's shot, honestly. Okay. It's not shot like a sitcom in many ways because it's not, but it has the speed of one.
Right.
And that's I missed that in comedy. And that's why we wanted to do it. And Victor was the same way and so was Rob. But there's also, I mean, we could talk about this forever too. This is an interesting topic, but like, what is a comedy nowadays is so broad. I mean, if you look at, and I'll try and have this conversation not embittered by the fact that like, if you enter your show, or like our show Unstable into the like for your consideration comedy thing, I'm going up against like Barry and the Bear, which is not even comparable. and again, this is, if anything, it's the exact opposite of a knock. Those are two of my favorite shows on TV right now, let alone made in the past like 10 years. I think those shows are incredible. Incredible. I'm not sure I've ever laughed at either of those shows. I've had like panic attacks watching them.
Right.
But those are comedies now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's true.
With Unstable, we knew, we were like, let's just make something that, you know, there's stakes, but at the end of the day, stakes are low. You can turn on in any mood and just kind of sit back and vibe. I miss those shows. New Girl's another example of that. Or, you know, Always Sunny's not totally dissimilar. You know the kind of vibe I'm talking about. Even like Scrubs or something like that.
Yeah.
And
you can pick it up
even
at
the
any
shows
point.
we just mentioned.
Yeah, you pick it up at any point and you're enjoying it. You know, it doesn't matter which part of it's
right? And you're not like, and I'm not advocating for this, but like if you're on your phone while you're watching it, you're not like, oh shit, like I'm stressed about this, but like I got something going. You know, it's just it's supposed to be a holistically enjoyable experience. It's a comedy. It's just lighthearted comedy.
I can fully say I enjoyed the experience of watching it.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah. And dude, honestly, like being able to talk to a writer, creator, actor of a show that like you're watching and like hear their inspirations as shows that are so important to me as well. Like all the ones we talked about, the NBC lineup, et cetera.
Yeah.
It's so fucking cool because now I can like see it more in the show and appreciate kind of the source of it a little bit more. Thank you for watching Studio 22.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And follow our socials at Studio 22 Podcast.